So who remembers in the original Anaconda when Jon Voight was the creepiest thing about the film, even more so than the snake? That original Anaconda was a fun creature film. I wouldn't call it a good film. I wouldn't call it a smart film. I wouldn't call it a scary film. I don't know why or who thought it was great to sort of reboot it, but it's 2026, and if you can reboot it, you will reboot it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the 2026 version of Anaconda starring Paul Rudd, Jack Black, Thandie Newton, Steve Zahn. Now, the original Anaconda was a campy film, but it tried to take itself somewhat seriously. It was a group of people going out into the Amazon River and being terrorized by this giant anaconda. Whereas the new one is sort of a meta film. It's about people chasing their dreams and they decide to remake Anaconda into a new version. The film that they're making, they go to the Amazon jungle and they're on the river. And the film is basically just a male and a female lead. And I'm like, what film are they making? Like, are they making Paranormal Activity out on a boat in the Amazon River? Like, what is going on? Like, how do you make a feature film with two people? They get themselves embroiled into a bigger conspiracy having to do with gold, traffickers, and all that fun stuff. This film is much more comedic than the original Anaconda because it is a straight up comedy and it's meant to be a comedy. It's not one of those films that's so bad that it's funny. And you have great comedic actors in Paul Rudd and Jack Black leading it. And they play very different characters. They play two friends who sort of drifted apart. Paul Rudd went to Hollywood to try to be an actor and he's not having a lot of success. Jack Black was sort of his friend who was the director, who stayed back in their hometown and sort of became a wedding videographer and is kind of at a standstill in life because he's got these creative juices and he's stuck filming boring videography. So in this film, seeing that side of things is actually a little deeper than I expected from a film like Anaconda. But once they get onto the river and they're starting to make this film, it's just really funny. And there's a lot of things that happen that are very humorous and silly. While you're watching it, I want you to forget about trying to make sense of what's happening in front of you and just go along for the ride. And that's the best way to watch a film like this. Have a popcorn, have a snack, a drink. Just get into the right headspace and watch this and enjoy yourself. There are some genuinely really funny moments in this film. There's a scene where the snake that they hired and the handler who has the snake under control, they're shooting a scene and Paul Rudd freaks out and he throws the snake off the boat and it lands up in the propellers and dies. And it's like, whoops, there goes our film. But I think my favorite scene is when later in the film, when they're actually being chased by a real life anaconda, like a giant one, Jack Black's character is eaten by the anaconda, but then it's regurgitated out later. The rest, Steve Zahn, Paul Rudd, Thandie Newton, they find him, check his pulse, he's dead. They have to get across a field, and this field is wide open, so they know the second they start running across the field, this anaconda is gonna see him, chase him down, and eat him. So they decide to do a diversion. They take their dead friend and set him up in the middle of this field. They find a dead pig as well, put on the back of Jack Black. They find a dead squirrel, shove it in his mouth for some reason, and then they go off waiting for the snake to come and eat him. And then Jack Black's eyes shoot open. He's alive, and the snake's now chasing him, and he starts running, and he's got this pig on his back, and the pig becomes alive, and it's like squealing on his back as he's running away from the snake, and it's genuinely really funny. It's like, it's so absurd and silly. There's a lot of body humor and physical humor in this, and that's my favorite scene in this, that whole sequence where he's running away, and it's so absurd to see that pig on him. First of all, that pig is probably like 100 pounds. There's no way a dude like Jack Black is running with a 100-pound pig on his back. That's not what to focus on. Focus on the comedy and the silliness of this film. Go check it out, and when you do and you like it, come back, leave a comment, and like and subscribe to the channel. Continue helping me grow so I can bring more of these reviews to you. There's a bit of a message about going for your dreams and reconnecting with friends and really going for things you want to go for and not settling for that B+ life the way they say. This is a B+ life. It's pretty good. But going for it, going for things, trying things. You never know what's going to happen. The cameos from Ice Cube and J-Lo are fine, but they don't really add too much to the film at all. Honestly, the film would have been fine without them, so I'm not really going to go into too much detail about that. Steve Zahn, who plays Jack Black's assistant, at his wedding video company is hilarious because he says he's buffalo sober, where he basically just drinks like beer and wine and soft liquors, whatever that means. But then also he's on drugs like the whole time, and he's like freaking out. He can't piss with people looking at him. There's a whole long sequence where Jack Black is bit and someone has to pee on him, and he's the only one that can do it. And it takes like, he has to like sit on somebody, and it's like this whole long sequence of him trying to piss on Jack Black. It's absurd, but it's hilarious. Settle in, have a drink, turn your brain off, watch Anaconda, have a good time with it. I was reading online where people were saying how this film is dumb and doesn't really compare to the original. And in my mind, I'm like, what film were they watching that they think the original is good? The original is not a good film either. I wouldn't call this a great film either, but like compared to the original source material, I kind of think this one's a little better. At least it knows it's a bad movie and it's kind of playing that up, versus Anaconda trying to be serious on like the acting and the dialects and the cadence of it. John Voight being creepy, and like the original is not a great film. I would go to say it's a pretty bad film. This one's just an okay popcorn movie, and that's all I was hoping for, and that's exactly what I got. I hope you enjoy this review. Until next time, stop scrolling, start watching.